Hello everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much.
It's 8:10, and this is John Howarth at the EBC Newsroom. It is now indisputable that we are facing a threat to our continued existence on this planet, even greater than that of nuclear Armageddon. Despite all attempts to divert it, the massive comet, first discovered just over a week ago, continues to hurtle towards us on a straight collision course. Best case scenario is that it might pass close by, causing tidal waves, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions on a scale that beggars belief. So is there any cause for hope? And what will the next 24 hours bring? For the latest in what the scientists have to say, we go now live to Kate Spencer. Kate.
Thank you, John. I'm outside Isleworth Astronomy Centre, and with me is a man who has managed to turn the media spotlight on himself during these last few dark days. Terran, as the self-appointed leader of the Sacred Star sect, you claim to welcome the comet. Why?
We welcome it because we believe. You must believe that there is no reason to fear the Sacred Star. It brings tidings of peace from another world. It brings news of a better life to come.
So you think it's a UFO?
It is a messenger of the golden, orderly life, and we who believe will be taken unto it and made welcome.
I'm sorry I have to cut you short, Kate. I'm being told that there's a development inside the research centre. Kate Spencer, reporting from outside, will be in position to report live from the central control room at Isleworth Astronomy Centre in just a moment. Or rather, from an observation gallery overlooking it. Kate, are you in position?
Yes, John. It's been confirmed that the comet is now dangerously close to what they call the lunar belt. That is the final point at which the comet can theoretically be shifted from its current trajectory. Wait, there's something happening here. I've just heard that...
3 minutes to lunar belt breach.
I'm sure you can hear that. The general feeling here is one of confusion, but...
2 minutes, 45 seconds to lunar belt breach.
Scientists all over the globe have tried missiles, laser platforms, and even a remote NASA shuttle to divert the comet's course.
2 minutes, 15 seconds to lunar belt.
That is the sound of the comet you can hear as it approaches the lunar belt, amplified via the live link from Russia here on BBC News.
Lunar belt breach.
The lives of everyone on Earth now just hanging in the balance.
45 seconds to lunar belt breach.
Tension here is phenomenal.
5.
There's little to do
4.
but wait
3.
and pray.
2. 1. Lunar belt breached. Trajectory culminated.
John, it seems that this is incredible. It seems as though the comet has stopped. Let me get confirmation.
Kate? Kate, are you there? What's happening down there?
John, the comet's trajectory reached its culmination just at the lunar belt limit. It has gone into orbit. Nobody here can believe it. We're about to get visuals on the comet. Yes, we've got pictures coming through now. What the hell is that?
Kate, what's happening?
The noise that is coming on all channels. The scientists don't know what it signifies. They're turning down the input volumes. We can see the immensity of the comet on the screens here. It's shining, almost silky looking, and the way the light is moving across it almost looks as though the surface is writhing. From what I can see of it, there's... That's not coming from the speakers. I don't know where that is coming from. The surface undulations on the comet are becoming more defined. It's as though the surface is being pushed up. Whatever is moving on the comet is pushing out further now. It looks like cables. I don't know what they are, but there are a lot of them all over the surface, moving out into space.
We seem to have lost Kate Spencer at Isleworth Astronomical Centre. As soon as we can, we'll return to...
I can see pictures. They're here for us.
Kate? What do you mean? What are these pictures? Kate? Kate?
It was big news, but it just wasn't possible to see what the Comet was doing where me and Jimmy were. He liked to talk about the Comet. Jimmy liked to talk a lot in those days. Wind him up and watch him go. People thought that was why I didn't talk so much, but it really wasn't.
We're nearly in. Hey, best damn thing that could have happened today, Henry. Comet swinging in, all the locals going out onto the streets. Hey, what do you suppose the saying it is? Martians again?
Jimmy didn't mind that I didn't talk. We'd been through a lot of troubles together, and some good times.
Just a burst, Henry. Hey, just a short burst. Stop! Whoa, okay, now, pass me that cold chisel.
We were doing a bank this time. I like banks. You go in from the cellar, you don't have to deal with the staff, and definitely not the public. I hated dealing with the sentient public. I didn't mind creatures, beasts, whatever you call them. Spent half my life working with beasts, breaking them, moving them. Takes a lot of sentient work time to get a herd of gelatinian peach rabbits across the flats, believe me. But I never minded the work. It's just that banks was something different. And I always liked variety.
I bet they think it's going to hit them square. Annihilate the whole planet. It's the old boiled egg phobia. You know what I think that comet is, Henry? I think it's a sentient. I think it's those jelly web things that we saw off Maida Loop 12. Hey, the scale is right. Well, nobody knew what they looked like. They didn't move, I suppose. I didn't come this far over. Yeah, perhaps it isn't them. Hey, pass me that bottle, would you?
It wasn't a bad idea. Earth is popular with sentience. Gas sentients are always knocked out by it, especially because it's not primarily a gas planet. Jimmy liked the brandy. All the brandy. French, Greek, he didn't care. Give him brandy. Brandy now. I like the banks. Oh, hell, I like the seas as well. Cheese. There were a lot of things.
Whatever kind of damn giant fungus it is playing the lumen apocalypse, we're in the vault swiping the bullion, and it couldn't have worked out better if we planned it on paper. I'm going to clear this tunnel and get the damn job done. Now get the pressure spike geared up, will you, Henry?
There wasn't much chance that it would be the apocalypse. Most likely it was an illusion. They're always happening in blue sky atmospheres. And Earth has got a monster psychic profile, so the tourist guide said, take a manifestation vacation. I didn't see too many of them just plain working there, but they did reckon it was a rare old planet for that sort of thing. Failing that, it was probably just a comet. Whatever. Jimmy and me weren't going to be around to find out.
It's good for the soul to work in the soil, Henry. I used to hate those damn pillar banks on the 7-7 Wilson planets. Hey, damn flying security guards. You need anti-grav just to make a deposit. Ain't no problem getting the swag down, though, eh?
We moved around a lot in those days. There was usually some damn agency looking for us. For years, we'd had the Romans after us, Zentap Romans, being bankrolled by a conglomerate of farmers out on the papyri worlds. Still riled about some amoeba rustlings Jimmy had bossed for a while. Huge damn amoeba on Papyri 9.
We're in, Henry. Hey, one last crack through the tin wall and we've got the goods. Hey, you want to do the honors?
I took the pressure spike and pushed it in through the dirt. I had no idea that it was the last time I'd ever do anything normal. I didn't know. I got into the hole, tapped the live point right into a groove in the tin cladding. Hell, I pressed the button.
Here we are, Henry boy. Hey, we're in.
Jimmy tapped the Impacast. It lights metal in the safe deposit boxes. Some gems. Paper value doesn't travel too well transplanted.
Sweet Henry. No alarms. No fuss.
You'd be surprised what old junk furniture those flash banks put down in their vault for their ruby-counting clients to sit on. Oh, sometimes you get a modern manager puts in a steel-top table, marble tops, something like that.
One of these boxes is loaded. Henry, listen to this. One of these little beauties.
So much has changed since those days. I can't remember why I didn't used to speak. I could see the roof being picked off and Jimmy not paying any attention. Then I could see what was doing it. Big metal tentacles with some kind of green bloom on them like copper. And spiked fingers, jointed claw fingers. They were big sons of guns. They pulled up the whole damn ceiling.
Henry! Henry! My God, look! Get 12 up! It's got me! Look! Watch out for that one! It's got me! It's got me!
It lifted him through the roof. And then it lifted me!
Planet. What nobody can explain is the meaning of these images and sounds.
Kate, we thought we'd lost you. What's happening at Islesworth?
John, huge holograms are filling the sky. Pictures of strange places. I'm at a loss to describe them.
And on the Comet, is the movement you saw earlier still taking place?
It looks like a web of threads spreading out through space. Again, I've never imagined anything like it.
What is the mood at Islesworth?
Almost calm, John. In comparison with the impact we all expected, I suppose this is good news. We don't know what this incredible display means, but compared to the terrible big finish everyone was expecting, this is a great relief.
Well, thank you, Kate. Now, one person who will be very relieved is Michael Hunt of the British Space...
John, there's something happening. The cables are starting to pour out of the Comet. There must be hundreds of thousands of them. I can still see huge floating holograms, but the cables are coming through them. They have passed the satellite platform that is relaying these live pictures to us. This is incredible.
Unprecedented developments at Islesworth. Everywhere, in fact. Well, we here at the English Broadcasting Corporation will continue to keep you up to date with every... Kate?
It's coming!
Bloody hellfire!
We apologise for this break in transmission. We will return to this special EBC report as soon as possible. Henry! Henry! What the hell are these things?
Jimmy was being pulled up fast through the sky close by me, the claw fingers holding tight. All around, other people were getting dragged up, waving like dogs. Some of them had too many arms.
Henry! They're all damn off-worlders! Can you hear me? All of them!
Jimmy was right. Each and every figure soaring towards the comet was interplanetary. A young man jetting up past me shimmered and blurred. Without his cloaking system, he was a Zygon. It was the same thing right across the sky. Xanti, Nesting, Oromelons. The dark, stormy air was filling with thousands of species plucked from every part of Earth. If I'd had a free hand, I might have scratched my head and wondered at just what was going on.
Put me down! Put me down, you octopus! Oh, shit!
Kate, we can just hear you. You're still on air.
I know I'm on air. I'm in the flipping air as well.
What? Where are you?
I'm being carried up by one of these damn cables or whatever they are. I'll try and keep reporting for as long as I can. Ouch! All around me are these tentacles carrying people at once!
You will release me. I am General Decker of the Santaran Empire!
Oh, they're not people, Oh, damn! I can see a shape above me. It's not a comet. It looks like a bubble. And all the cables are drawing in through it. Oh my God. Here we go!
Kate? Can you still hear me? Kate? Kate? We seem to have lost contact. Kate! Hello, Kate. This is John Howard in the studio.
I had a feeling I knew what the bubble was all about. The police on Rigel 7 used something like it to troll for speeding glide boarders. But this was way too sophisticated for those flatfoots.
Hey, Henry! The thing is circle it! We still owe him a lot for his brother's insurance money! That sour old Balkan zumper!
I didn't know who was behind it, but I knew, as I saw Jimmy's head pop into the sphere, I knew that it was a damn big problem. Didn't know how big at that point.
Whoa! Hey, that's one ride I wouldn't want to see at Global Disney. You all right, Henry? What is this?
We were in the bubble to stop us from dying. You move out of the atmosphere into the strange blue-black of space. You need some protection. There was a family of slampets way over on the other side. Slampets are harmless, and definitely not criminal. Their only vice is salt, and Earth has got plenty of that. This was a weird sort of hijacking.
Hey, I don't want to alarm you, Henry, but we're still traveling. We're still going to hit the Comet.
There was a hole in the Comet, and we were heading for the lights. But I hope I never again see that great damn ball coming right at my head like the biggest damn thing in life.
What now, eh? The merchandise concession?
Welcome. Your pilgrimage is over. Your hopes are all fulfilled. Please stand by for decontamination.
Ooh. Henry, you there? There, you alright, man? Well, you look alright.
I felt fine. I didn't feel like I'd been drugged. There was sweet fresh air like a high oxygen content, and a nice breeze.
Tentacles they were. Do you remember? Whacking great big metal tentacles coming straight out of the damn comet. No jellyweb thing organised that.
We were indoors, but it smelled like outdoors. It looked like a house. We were in the kitchen.
Henry, is this a kitchen?
There were blinds at the window, and the sun was streaming in over gleaming pots and pans and jars of jam and homemade tomato sauce. And there were flowers and fruit on the table, and a big white fridge by the door.
Damn, Henry, what is this?
It was a picture for sure. Jimmy all dusty from shoveling out the tunnel, leaning over the sink and looking through the net curtains, onions shiny in a bowl next to him.
We're in the damn suburbs.
I could tell he didn't like this.
Where the hell is that damn bird song coming from? Oh. Henry, you hear that? It's by the ladder.
Oh, you too. I thought there were no other humanoid. Let me introduce myself. Kate Spencer, EBC News.
Yeah, I know who you are.
Do you? How flattering. And you?
I'm Jimmy, and this is Henry.
Hi, Henry.
She was very smart, like, fashion doll smart. But there was something about her eyes that I bet the cameras didn't pick up.
You hurt?
Me? No, I'm not.
Okay. Those tentacles were pretty gentle, huh?
Yes, I suppose they were. Do you know what they were or where we are?
We're in the suburbs, Kate. And I think it's time we went for a walk. What'd you say, Henry? Shall we explore?
The doors looked normal enough. Curtains on most of them, handles. No reason why we shouldn't go out.
You must behave courteously. As a guest in this house, it behooves you to behave courteously.
You are.
The door had zapped Jimmy. Now it was talking to him.
As a guest of the rightful cosmic order of Pure Crusaders, the correct thing is for you to await relocation with maximum decorum.
Relocation? What the hell are you talking about?
It means we are prisoners.
Like hell.
You have been provided for to the highest cultural standards of the humanoid biped.
Culture, you say?
This environment is the finest yet achieved by the humanoid biped in any known geosphere.
This?
This is Doris Day's house.
I see you are already familiar with the highest in biped culture.
While it was talking, Jimmy had been stripping away the shielding around the door. He always had a boot knife on him for this sort of thing. It began to look like the door was solid metal. Wasn't even a door, just a stretch of wall with a couple of vocal speakers nearby. That meant it wasn't autonomous. That was bad. Meant it was a bigger brain talking to us. Then, the man walked in.
Excuse me, little lady. I didn't mean to startle you like that. I saw you folks had arrived and thought I'd call by to welcome you to our little town and bring you a bite to eat.
You're the computer. You're the same as the damn door.
Jimmy was beginning to get riled.
Well, neighbor, you don't use an aggressive tone of voice too much around these parts.
Don't you?
Wait, can I ask you something?
Anything at all, just fire away.
This house is the ideal home.
Certainly is conducive to the finest in humanoid biped behavior, ma'am.
And you gave us this house to use while we await relocation.
I can see you were a sharp little lady at school, ma'am.
So where will we be relocated?
Why? To your own planet, of course.
Oh, no.
And the Crusaders will arrange this?
The Pure Crusaders of the rightful cosmic order have already arranged it. It's done, ma'am.
Oh, no.
They had already taken us. While we were sleeping, they'd shipped us out of orbit. I thought that was a mean, low, underhanded thing to do, but these were religious people. And those types don't follow the same rules of decency as the rest of us.
Let me see if I'm following this. Your Crusaders have kidnapped all the off-worlders on Earth today, and you want to take us back to our home planets? But why'd you want to do that?
It's perfectly plain, my friend. Interspecies relations are an abomination.
They are, huh?
Surely, species indulging in such commingling must be segregated. It is for their own good.
It is, huh?
Yes, indeed. And I must inform you that I am constructed of gamma-tempered Thursconium, and therefore impervious to injury from boot knives.
I have to say, Jimmy should have listened to that robot that time.
Oh!
Dr. Deacon would be glad to look at your hand, neighbor. Shall I give him a call?
I think it would be best if you left us. Thank you ever so much for your welcome. You're most kind. I'm sure we'll be very happy here awaiting our repatriation.
If you're sure, little lady. We will be leaving orbit in about 32 minutes. But don't you forget, you need anything, just give a holler.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Did you hear that? We haven't left orbit yet. We've got to get out of here.
Aye. Good idea. And what's your home planet, Kate Spencer?
There has obviously been a mistake in my case. First, we need to get out of this house.
Oh, I don't think these people would make a mistake like that. What are you really, Kate? Disder? Walter Manip? Chronoid?
Drop it, Baldy!
Okay, I see the picture. So, look, how about we start planning to get out of here? Henry, you got any more of that cobalt blue?
Avisifec had given us a pocket full of cobalt blue. It's one of the most versatile explosives in the universe. Believe me, a pocketful is enough to open a lot of doors.
Round the door, aye, like here. Aye, a little bit here.
This combat blue.
Cobalt.
Right. Cobalt blue. It's stable, is it?
Aye, if you use it right, it's as safe as houses.
But we're in a house that isn't real and it isn't safe.
Why don't you go and stand over there? Henry, I'd get behind that cupboard if I was you. Right. Contact. We have liftoff.
That's it.
Damn. It's not even scratched the surface.
Well, this is just an idea off the top of my head, but...
Cobalt blue. Not even scotched the paint.
But if these Crusaders don't like interrelation of species, maybe it's the same with materials.
You what?
She had a point. If the Crusaders were so strict about segregating species, why not materials? They hadn't herded us up in the same box. They'd given us individualized cells. No, I couldn't see what she meant either.
Look, it's got to be worth trying. If it doesn't work, we'll resort to your plasticine again. Help me get the carpet up.
I don't want to be obstructive, but what are we doing?
This fridge may just be a constrict, but it's still heavy. Look, if the people who made this ship are against bonding anything, well, they will have left a gap somewhere. Here we are.
Well, that's an airtight seal.
Yes, but it's not fused.
Well, it's too damn tight to get out with my knife.
It was a flexible seal around a big panel. If she was right, it wasn't totally impervious. It was a weak point.
So, if we can just find a way to break it, we might...
Look, no offence, but don't break a nail, honey. That's gonna need heavy tackle.
No offence taken, honey, but these nails don't break.
Oh, Lord.
I was warming to her. One thing was for sure, she wasn't human.
Aye, that's very impressive. You're not, by any chance, graspient, are you?
Why? Find them a bit frightening, do you? Oh, look. Seems to be a way out.
Oh, Henry, pass me a coin, will you? And not one of those boomerang coins. They're for drink dispensers.
Oh.
Great. Now. The coin didn't fall straight. It shifted around in the air and half floated down. It had to be gravity phasing doing that.
The geography of this place.
It's a sphere, isn't it? We're inside the crust. Down there is getting towards the core.
Is it?
Obvious. Do we want to go there?
Do we want to stay here?
I'd stand away from that grave if I were you, neighbors.
We all jumped. When you've stepped blindfold off the edge of the eastern spiral tower, you know falling. This was more like a brandy spin, a floating, sick kind of feeling. There were platforms suspended in places, walkways, boxy-looking areas that might have been rooms, and weird sets of lights. Maintenance drones were jetting around. I think Jimmy clipped one of them, but we all kept falling towards a big cluster of stuff. Wires, pumping machinery, lots of lights. We kept on falling, right for the core of the comet. I landed on a big brainy white-looking thing and rolled off. Kate was standing up. I guess she fell soft too. Jimmy was caught up in this razor wire dome. He was cut up.
Henry, well, give me a hand up, will ya?
My God. Stay where you are. I'll pull some of this wire away.
I'm okay, really.
Oh, God, Jimmy, your leg.
Well, come on, Henry, give me a damn hand.
Jimmy came out fast with Kate holding the wire up, but he was cut up bad.
Damn. This is really gonna irritate.
Irritate?
Jimmy's left leg was still in the wire, cut off.
You must have a hell of a pain threshold.
It was a clean cut, but even where we come from, nobody can stand that. He wasn't bleeding either.
Come on, help me up.
Humanoid bipeds remain immobile.
Too late.
Unhand the brain matrix. You must desist. The brain matrix is fragile. Unhand the brain matrix.
It's not my hand I left in the brain matrix.
Move away from the brain matrix. Make space around the brain matrix.
Up in the air, there were lights coming toward us, like skiff wings and some were helicopter blades. Well, some kind of blades. There were doors opening around us and hatches and drones were coming up behind Jimmy.
Take 3 steps away from the brain matrix.
This was a big drone. Humanoid, but with all the metal showing. Lots of industrial components. Didn't frighten Jimmy.
I'll step on your head.
Kate had a hold of my arm. She was pointing up around us. Those little lights were hovering, humming, making a ring of satin in the air. They were drones, a whole range of units, flying, spinning things that looked rusty and dragged out of a corner, as though the computer was pulling anything out that might be used as a weapon. There were more of them coming in.
You people, back to the humanoid bipeds section.
Go to where?
Jimmy was standing pretty solid, considering.
Well now, back to where you were, sir. The fine house there.
But I'm not a biped, am I?
You must follow the orderly patterns, sir.
I'm a monoped, am I not? I mean, you can see that for yourself, can you not? I'm a monoped like a damn slug.
I could see the brain hadn't invested too much reasoning paste in the head of this drone.
Do not contradict the unit. Move to your cells. Humanoid monoped, follow the unit to the monoped section.
Like hell.
That was when the big drone tried to take a hold of Jimmy.
Oh my god.
Well, I'd known it was possible. It's always possible where me and Jimmy come from, but I hadn't suspected. In all those times we had together, Jimmy never once gave me a hint. I guess he didn't know himself until the time came.
Oh my god.
Jimmy was doing something I never thought to see.
Decorum is the watchword.
Jimmy was eating the drone.
Oh no. That's gross.
You see, where we come from, there is only one Pitsandian. It is the Metal Eater. Oh, it's got something to do with gold. A curse on the head of a prince. It goes back a long way. A lot of people say it's a virus, I don't know. But it kind of lives inside, full grown until it comes out. It is impervious to pain, impervious to everything, really. It usually operates around where me and Jimmy came from. Lots of people leave that area. Drones started falling out of the air, heading for Jimmy, setting up attack squads.
Vandalism is not appropriate. Are you aware of the established deterrent? It is seen to resist from destruction of the Pure Crusader agent of righteousness.
Henry, I think we should get away from here.
Jimmy had picked the carcass of the big figure, but there were a lot of smaller things coming at him. Jimmy was treating them like tapas.
Henry, there's a bridge. We should make a break for it.
She was right. We were getting edged off the platform. The drones were multiplying, building a defensive wall around the brain matrix, and Jimmy was getting bigger really fast. The Pitsandian isn't like a life form, I guess.
Henry!
I had to go. Jimmy had to stay there.
Which way now? Oh, not that way.
Jimmy must have been lunching on some critical systems. As we ran, cell doors started opening and species from all over the galaxy swam, ran, flew, or crawled out.
Let's breathe. Let's breathe. What? I'm sorry, Caroline.
Peters! What are you doing? What are you doing? Return to Zygon form.
Henry, there's going to be a lot of incompatible, angry individuals roaming free.
I grabbed her by the shoulder and dragged her into one of the empty cells. I figured it would give us some time to think.
Right. Time to invent Plan B. There's a squad of military drones coming this way. Better think of something quick.
Humanoid bipeds. This is not your level. Contamination of species warning. Eradication is the only answer.
Henry!
Eradication is the only answer. Eradicate contaminant. Eradicate.
Jimmy! It's Jimmy!
The creature that used to be Jimmy ripped the drones apart. He was 3 times the size he used to be, with a copper-colored skin that seemed to be absorbing the light. We made a run for it back into the corridor, past Jimmy.
Henry, move! Well, I don't think I know this particularly large and empty room quite as well as all the others. What about you, Henry?
We've been almost everywhere on the ship, most places twice. Moving through blocks and towers of cells. We dodged past some of the most indescribable life forms. It had started me thinking about the Crusaders. Hell, I've seen religions where people give up their money, their homes, even their families, but this was plain fascism. The Crusaders believed they were right, believed they were doing good. And they weren't so good that they'd stop at slaughter, but they could justify that. Everything they did was good. They were never going to question that. Seeing the aliens wandering around free, I knew it had to be driving them wild.
Henry, see that?
Well, her eyes were a lot better than mine.
There, far corner of the room.
There was a humanoid shape moving near the smooth wall of the vast room. There was something writhing about it.
Is it Jimmy? Who else is humanoid here?
I knew enough about the Pitsandian to know she was late with that idea.
Oh, tentacles! Get them off me!
Release and return!
Oh, I hate those things.
There were drones coming up, lights coming on, like it was a trap.
Humanoid bipeds! Eradicate contaminant!
You bipeds have caused vast amounts of damage. A penance must be paid.
Who the hell are you?
I am a Pure Crusader. This ship is my instrument, Miss Spencer.
You know me.
And you know me, though by a missionary name.
Just a minute. Terran.
Terran? The guy had claimed he was that religious leader. He'd been on TV for weeks telling the bipeds not to worry about the comet.
I interviewed you.
Quite so. I tried to pacify the indigenous species, as do we always, but as usual they paid no heed, and the great work continued, yea, amidst tumult and panic.
They're probably entitled to be jumpy, given what this comet is doing to their global tides.
The mission must take priority, and the pure in heart are glad it is so. Of more import is that my flock are out of their pens, thanks to you and your criminal friends. You will make amends for that. Hold them.
Wait. There's no need to use those things. What do you want us to do?
Return! If you would walk unguided through the labyrinth, very well. Open Matrix Recorder. Welcome, Crusader. Current Matrix efficiency is at 54% and falling. Critical systems failure at 27%. Alien interaction on levels 4. Enough! You see, your sabotage of this vessel is putting lives at risk, including your own. Follow.
Really, Terran, you can't complain if you're meeting resistance. Don't you think some of us have good reasons for not wanting to go home?
The sacred good is higher than personal want. Do you know how species are losing the characteristics that verily make them what they are? All over the universe, you will find creatures intermingling, and by this bringing corruption to their metabolic template. Oh, where do you think it will end?
In evolution?
In homogeneity. It is divine will that species differ. Blasphemy to deny those differences. And protection of pure bloodlines is plain common sense. We're not fanatics.
I don't think there is any doubt who violated intergalactic sentient rights today, Terran.
This is a vessel full of sentient species that can no longer be controlled. That handiwork is yours.
Can't be flown, you mean?
I doubt it can even be held in orbit for much longer.
Then you must put us back where you found us.
I cannot. There is too much damage.
Get the tentacles moving, they still work.
The action of collecting the flock is complex. To reverse the process would require re-indoctrination of the entire computer. Atmospheric tolerance level for humanoid and avian species now at 27% and falling. Tolerance levels will be exceeded in 11 minutes.
So do it!
Given time, the journeyman drones could establish mechanical control, but your friend destroys any that come near. Even then, they are under-equipped to instruct the central brain.
So, what are you saying? There's no hope, is that it?
There is always hope. Though the options may be limited, there is always an action to take.
Those tentacles grabbed me again, but they left Kate alone.
What are you doing? And where's that music coming from?
The brain of this sacred comet can connect directly with that of a living being and use the expanded potential thus formed to reorder its procedures. It can then instruct itself.
Do it yourself, then.
Ah, but it is a glorious thing to give.
Terran was walking over to me, standing in front, looking at me in the eye. At least his eye was looking me in the eye. His brain had no idea I was in the room.
To think that such as you should be the latest sacrificial anode on the keel of the great mission. How I envy you, silent biped.
You mean Henry will die? Meld with the comet's brain and then die?
Henry will connect. Control will be regained. What orders I am then minded to give, I cannot predict.
You're not going to put us back.
Kate was pinned right next to me, 6 feet up in the air, though I guess she was in a better position than I was.
You have no claim to goodness, Terran, if your tidy little cult could sacrifice a sentient.
The sacred mission requires the fullest commitment from all.
Even innocent bystanders.
And the rewards it bestows are eternal. Yea, if you reach the Matrix interface, Henry, you will hold a greater glory than any humanoid biped could ever.
Oh, give it a rest.
Proceed.
Suddenly, I was hanging up over the brain matrix platform we had fallen to from the cell. It was big enough, built out with the carcasses of drones. And over to the side, ripping off sheets of metal and biting through tentacles, was the Pitsandian.
Henry, I'm guiding the tentacle manually. The vigil will be held by Miss Spencer and I, concurrent with your connection.
My tentacle swayed forward, and the Pitsandian swung around. This was the big moment. How much was Jimmy and how much was not? Seems he remembered something.
Critical systems failure, 62%. Degradation of atmospheric tolerance, 24%.
He was trying to get at the tentacle that was holding me.
Blessed is the believer, who offers himself like a fish to the boiling oil.
This was right in the comet's brain, and Jimmy was pulling out fluid systems, osmotic systems, reflective systems, anything that flashed.
Enunciation system volatile. Efficiency 54%. 34%. 60. 60. 60. 60. 16. 16.
I swear the Pitsandian looked at me, and I laughed. At least the damn thing had stopped talking. And then they were pushing me into this green pad, and I hit it hard.
There! He's connected.
There was a toiler and his dummy, carrying tools, traveling. And they hit upon a town, and they explored, finding much to do and many wonders, like seas. And they determined to delve in the earth for treasure. They were after treasure, boxes and bars, bats.
What's happening?
He is orientating. The computer is limiting access.
Protecting itself.
Deciding criteria. They can't share every piece of data. It would be too much.
But when they opened the cave, after much effort and strain, they found no treasure, but a grand octopus that pulled them out like a cork from a bottle. Away from the town like a bat from a belfry, and far from the hectic world. Like a brace of quail from a 3-tined fork. And it swallowed them.
Now what?
Adjustments. It is a wondrous connection we have made, but tricky.
Inside the octopus, it was clean and tidy, but it didn't smell right. And there, the toiler and his dummy met the talking witch, who did not look like herself, and who reached up and pulled down the roof and let in the dark. And then the toiler found food, good food for him, and he ate his way through the octopus.
He is introducing ideas to the computer.
Is that good or bad?
It is not what I expected.
And as he ate, he grew teeth and shed his soft body, and emerged transformed, as though born to eat the octopus from the inside. Then the witch put the dummy in a dim green bag, and once his eyes had focused, the dummy found boxes there, and he began to open them.
Just a minute. It's putting drones up.
The computer must feel threatened. He is frightening it.
What is he doing?
He can only be telling it things.
He found apricots in one box, kites in another, pistols, tiger bomb, numbers and toast and jam, physics, quantum physics, light years and a basilisk, climax and the tuple that knew migration, Olympic line, stoicism, an octopus. He found an octopus. It offered him the truth. It offered him the golden answer.
It's calming. It has organized the data. All will be well.
We still have the ring of death above us.
The octopus had the only solution. It was the answer. But the dummy liked variety. So, he opened another box.
Stand!
And he found Welsh Comet, a water sieve, a jubilee.
They're aiming at him.
He found magic or rust, and he opened the box of prisoners, and they flew out.
He's damaging it.
Crystals, and he made the octopus move.
He's burst the drones.
He told the octopus to calm down. To calm down. The prisoners went back to where they had come from.
He's got the tentacles working.
I don't understand this. He should be desiccated.
He found the toiler eating and left him alone. He found the talking witch, and she went back to where she had been taken from.
It's got me. It's lifting me up again. Ah!
It is as though this fool has occupied the brain matrix.
And the other one... And he opened another box. And he found his voice. There was only me and Jimmy left on the Comet. I walked out into the Tentacle Bay, and I saw him one last time. Hell, he was enjoying himself. I caught his eye. We said goodbye. I had to go. Best damn friend I ever had.
This is John Howarth at the EBC as we approach the hour, bringing you the latest updates from around the world. High seas deluge Holland. Rotterdam and The Hague are known to be completely underwater. There is no hope of survivors at Delft. Freak whirlwinds in the Pacific. Shipping losses too vast to estimate. At home, 18 million without power or water. Emergency services unable to cope. Good evening. A catalogue of terror and disaster is sweeping the entire world. Enormous tides and weather patterns of crushing violence have devastated almost every inhabited place on Earth. Emergency services are working all out, but now acknowledge that little can be done. The scale of the disaster is beyond our ability to cope. It seems as though there is only one course of action to follow. Dig in and hope to be one of the lucky few to survive. Amazingly, in the midst of such upheavals, there is another story tonight, that of the comet that has adopted a regular orbit just inside that of the moon. It is certainly the cause of the terrible destruction that is sweeping the planet. But is there more to it than meets the eye? Earlier today, immensely long metal cables were seen snaring people and lifting them up into the air. Unlikely as it sounds, we have had repeated confirmation that these cables came from the comet, adding fuel to the speculation that it may be an alien spaceship, and equally to the opposing point of view that the whole affair is a mass hallucination, along with the holographic images witnessed shortly after the comet entered its orbit. It seems we have a report coming in live now. Kate Spencer, our reporter at Alsworth Research Base, her self-reported lost, is waiting with a report for us any second.
Hello, John. Can you hear me?
Kate, yes, and very glad to hear you're safe and sound. What's happening down there, and indeed, where are you?
I'm back at Alsworth, John. There's been a tremendous amount of excitement here, a lot of activity interfering with our equipment.
Last we heard from you, there was some sort of activity on the surface of the comet. Is this related to the tentacles we've been hearing reports of?
I'm embarrassed to admit it, John, but I'm afraid I was hallucinating rather badly when I broadcast that report, along with many other people, I have to say.
So you weren't lifted up into the comet?
Good heavens, no. But your asking me that question gets right to the heart of the event we all seem to have experienced. We apparent abductees knew nothing of it and went about our business as usual, unnoticed by everyone else. Suddenly it seems we reappeared, when in fact we were there all the time.
So it was an hallucination?
Yes, and if confirmation were needed of such an unlikely circumstance, I have with me Terran, leader of the Sacred Star sect and former advocate of the alien visitor thesis, who has himself undergone a change of heart. Could you tell me what you now believe?
We were brought back by the tentacles.
Apparently, yes. But you now believe that to have been a hallucination, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Just as the holographic images you said were a message from a benevolent alien race.
Hallucination also, yes.
And the comet is...
I do not know what will become of it. With that creature...
Is a comet, not a spaceship.
Yes, if you say so.
Kate knew that the Crusader was stranded on Earth, and that if he wanted to survive, he wouldn't want to be remembered as the alien prophet, because that would mean he was a fruitcake. So she did the thing that all non-Terrans do on Earth. She exaggerated the Sultana content. And all the other camouflaged aliens followed her lead. And that's why in every city, town, and village on Earth, you will find a family with a great joke. How one time Grandma, Uncle Pete, Brother Paolo, or the local apothecary was abducted by aliens, and nobody noticed.
Did you really believe that the comet was a messenger from another planet?
Well, might seem ridiculous now.
The comet was on its way out of the galaxy. Jimmy, the Pitsandian, would eat away at it until only the bones were left and then move on to some other metal deposit. And Earth would return to its usual fine tides and storms, and to the long business of picking up the pieces. As for me, I'd seen everything that an interplanetary computer the size of the moon keeps in its records. Nothing was ever going to be the same for me again. I had wisdom, a voice, a whole load of transferable new skills. My future was going to be extraordinary. So that is where the story ends, but with one last thought. That all of this happened in one short day. And as you never know what the day may hold, it is wise to go 4-armed. Or 8-armed. 9-armed. Something. Ask Kate.
And there is no such thing as warp drive, is there?
Well...
Is there?
No such thing. No such thing at all.